You already know who it is. The name surfaced the second you read that title. Not a maybe. Not a could be a few people. One name. One face. And here's what's strange. They never raised their voice. Never did anything you could point to in a courtroom and call evidence. So why does it still sit in your chest like something unfinished? Because the wounds you can name, you can treat. The ones you can't name just stay there, quietly deciding how you read everyone who comes after. You weren't slow to notice what they were doing, by the way. You noticed in the first few weeks. A pause, half a second too long. A joke that wasn't really a joke. You noticed. Then you did something stranger than missing it. You translated it into something you could live with. Quick question. Last time someone went quiet on you for no reason you were given. What did you do with that silence? Most people don't sit in it. They fill it. Fast. They're probably just stressed. Long week, that's all. I think I caught them at a bad time. That's not optimism. That's construction. You built a version of them that let you keep showing up. And they didn't ask you to build it. You did. Which means the version you defended to your friends. The one you made excuses for at 2 a.m. That version had your fingerprints on it, not theirs. Here's the part that should bother you a little. You weren't fooled by them. You were fooled by your own architecture. This happens with a specific type of person. Not the loud ones, the quiet ones, the ones who hurt you through what they never said, not what they did. Picture it. Someone keeps you one tier below where you want to be, not quite a partner, not quite just a friend, stuck in the warm, undefined middle, where they get the closeness without ever signing anything. And every time you almost name it, almost ask the question that would force clarity, something happens. A good night, a sweet text, proof, apparently, that you were wrong to doubt. That moment wasn't a coincidence. It was maintenance. People who benefit from your confusion will perform just enough warmth to keep the structure standing, not always on purpose. Sometimes they believe their own kindness as much as you do. That's what makes it so hard to catch. There's rarely a villain in the room. Just two people getting different things out of the same unfinished situation. And only one of them is paying for it with their time. This isn't only romantic either. A boss who never promotes you, but always says you're exactly who they need, right before you start applying elsewhere. A mentor who has no time for you all year, except for the one call that reminds you why you admired them in the first place. Same pattern, different room. So here's the question nobody lets themselves ask. If the proof was there the whole time, why did it take so long to see it? The answer isn't flattering. It's just mechanical. The mind protects what it's already invested in. A year into believing someone is good for you, every piece of contradicting evidence costs something to accept. Not just emotionally, structurally. Accepting it means admitting the last year wasn't building towards something. It was just happening to you. So the mind does something almost elegant. It keeps the evidence and changes what it means. The lateness wasn't disrespect. They're just bad with time. The vagueness wasn't avoidance. They're just private. The silence wasn't distance. They're just processing. Stack 12 months of that, and you've built a fully furnished apartment out of explanations for someone who was telling you the truth the entire time, in the most basic, boring way possible. You weren't fooled because you're naive. You were fooled because you're capable of a kind of love that doesn't ask for proof. That's not a flaw. That's one of the better things about you. It just has a price, and the price is that it can be used quietly, without anyone ever lying to you. Because you'll do the lying to yourself for free. It's not only romantic either. The friend who only calls when something's wrong in their life, never when something's wrong in yours. Each call feels fine on its own. It's only when you zoom out 2 years later that the shape becomes visible. By then you've already filed it under, "We just show up for each other differently." One small, reasonable sentence at a time. That's how the mind lies to you. Never one big lie you'd catch. 1,000 small ones you wouldn't. Now here's the part that changes everything you just heard. Romanticizing someone was never really about them. It was about who you got to be while you were doing it. Patient, understanding, the one who saw the good when nobody else could. That identity felt good to wear. It felt like proof of your depth. And that's the trap. Inside the trap, you weren't only protecting them from your doubt. You were protecting your own reflection. Letting go of the story about them would have meant letting go of the story about you. The patient one, the chosen one, the one who finally found someone worth all that effort. So it was never just two people. It was you, them, and a third thing standing in the middle. A story you both needed alive, for completely different reasons. They needed it to keep you close without ever choosing you. You needed it to keep your identity intact. Neither of you was lying exactly. You were both protecting something, using the same silence. There's a moment this always breaks. It rarely breaks loudly. People expect a slammed door. It's almost never a slammed door. It breaks in something small. A text that takes 4 hours too long. A laugh at dinner that wasn't really about you. A friend who finally says the sentence everyone else was too careful to say. And in that moment, something strange happens. Not heartbreak first, recognition first. You don't think they hurt me. You think, I knew. That's the part that actually levels people, not the discovery. The realization that it was never a discovery at all. It was a remembering. The evidence was filed away the whole time, in a part of your mind you'd agreed not to visit, because visiting it would cost you the story you needed. And once you see that about yourself, you can't unsee it. You are capable of knowing something fully, and choosing just as fully not to. That's not weakness. That's a survival skill that misfires in love the same way it protects you everywhere else. Here's the actual day it changes. Not the day you find new evidence. The day old evidence stops needing a kind translation. It's quiet, almost anticlimactic. You read the same behavior you've read 100 times. Same lateness, same vagueness, same warm but undefined energy. And for the first time, you don't reach for the kind version. You just let it mean what it plainly means. That's the whole shift. No speech, no confrontation, where you finally say everything you've been holding. Just the quiet refusal to keep doing unpaid translation work for someone who was never confused. Only convenient. And the strange thing people report afterward isn't relief. Not at first. It's closer to grief. Because romanticizing someone, even someone who hurt you, was still a kind of intimacy. Stopping doesn't just remove them. It removes the version of you that needed them to be better than they were. What replaces it is quieter than people expect, and far more useful. You start noticing the gap between people's actions and the explanations you hand them for free. Not just with that one person, with everyone. The friend who's just busy, exactly when busy benefits them. The family member who's just like that, exactly when like that, costs you something and costs them nothing. You start seeing the architecture you used to build on autopilot. And the seeing alone is usually enough to stop most of the building. You also start noticing the people who never required this work from you at all. The ones whose actions matched their words so consistently, you never had to construct a kinder version of them. because the real version was already kind. That contrast is jarring. The first time you actually feel it, it feels almost suspicious, like ease must be hiding something, because you're so used to love requiring translation. It doesn't. Sometimes ease is just ease. You were just never given enough of it to recognize it on sight. Picture 6 months into this. Someone new goes quiet for 2 days after a great first conversation. You would have spent those 2 days writing their excuse for them. New you doesn't write anything. You just watch what they do next. Because what they do next is the only translation that ever mattered. If they show up consistently from there, good. If the silence becomes a pattern, you already know what it means. And for once, you let it mean that the first time, not the 15th. There's a final layer, the one that actually changes how you move through everything after this. The people who hurt you quietly were never your biggest problem. Your biggest problem was the part of you so committed to seeing the good in people. It would override what your own eyes were already showing you. That part of you doesn't deserve to be punished. It's where your loyalty lives. Your capacity to love people without keeping score. It just deserves a new rule. See the good in people. Just stop hiring it to replace the truth. You can hold both at once. Someone's potential and someone's pattern, without letting the potential cast a vote on what the pattern he already proved. People will keep showing you exactly who they are. The only question left is whether you keep editing the footage, or whether you finally just watch it. The day you stop romanticizing the people who hurt you quietly isn't the day you stop believing in people. It's the day you stop believing in the version of them you built so you wouldn't have to be alone with the truth. And you were never alone with it. You just hadn't opened that file in a while.